Hey friends, it's Leanne here again with our final video in this series of spiritual practices. Today we're going to focus on the spiritual practice of centering prayer. Now at the end of this video you're going to want to pay attention because there's a little surprise for you at the very end that I think you might be interested in. So today we're going to see how we can connect to both our core and our creator through the spiritual practice of centering prayer. Now, centering prayer is an ancient form of prayer that is focused entirely on the presence of God. This prayer is different from our usual or typical prayers in that so few words are spoken. There's no lists or requests or plans or agendas. We really move from conversation into communion, simply being together. In this prayer, we sit in the presence of God and give Him our undivided love and attention. You know, the only words that are spoken in this type of prayer are words that gently bring our wandering mind back to the Creator. This prayer is about being together, being present in this moment with the Lord. So the goal of this practice is to connect to our core and our Creator as we focus on being present with Him, because we know and we trust that in His presence, that's where transformation happens. Today we're going to start our practice just like every other practice. We're going to light our candle just as a physical reminder that Jesus is the light of the world, and that we are already completely immersed in His presence. We are enveloped in His love, and there is nothing that we need to do to earn or to keep His love, for it is freely given to us. And everything that we do will be under that warm glow of love, grace, and mercy. So let's start off by taking some deep breaths, just as a way of slowing ourselves down, both physically and spiritually. So will you inhale for 4 with me? And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Now, as you continue deep breathing, let me just take a few minutes to remind you what happens to your body when you do that. You know, more oxygen begins to fill your blood pressure and heart rates begin to slow down. Stress and anxiety are reduced. Posture, blood quality, and lung function start to improve. It helps to strengthen our immune system, and it calms our nervous system. It lets us know that we are safe. Now, spiritually, it makes us aware that He is nearer than the air we breathe. It quiets our mind so that our soul can connect with the heart of God. So let's intentionally set our hearts in a place that's ready to receive all that the Creator has for us during this time. In the Bible, in the book of Acts, it says, "For in Him, in God, we live and move and have our being." And in the book of Psalms, it says that my soul finds rest in God alone. You know, there's a man named Basil Pennington, and he has a really great quote that kind of sums up the spiritual practice of centering prayer, and I just want to read that to you for a minute. It says, you know, in prayer we seek God. We do not seek peace or quiet or tranquility or enlightenment. We do not seek anything for ourselves. We seek to give ourselves to God. He is all of our prayer. And so this really is at the heart of centering prayer. As I said earlier, there's very few words spoken. We really move from conversation to communion and simply being together. I found it helpful to see this prayer almost like I'm floating down a river. And so there may be distractions or debris that catches my attention that I'll notice. But my focus really is about being present with Jesus, kind of in that river. And so when I get distracted, I just gently bring my focus back to Him again. So before we start, I would love you to think of what that one word might be for you that will gently bring you back when you lose focus. It's human nature to get distracted. So it could be a name of God like Abba or Father. It may be Lord. It could be the bread of life, or the great provider, or the great physician, kind of a word that makes sense to you. Or maybe it's a characteristic of God. So it might be something like love, or kindness, or goodness, mercy, or grace. And so when your mind begins to wander, which it will, just gently and kindly bring yourself back with that word to focusing back on the Lord. Okay? So this practice, the first part will probably be about 5 minutes of just kind of silence and music playing while we do this, and then I'll have some reflection questions for you. Before we get started, make sure that you're sitting in a comfortable place, that you're breathing easy, and gently close your eyes as you settle in, and then choose your word. When you get distracted, which you will, it's human nature, just gently return to your word as a way of being present with the Lord. All right, so let's get started. As you gently open your eyes, I have a few questions for you just to ponder your experience, to reflect upon this time that you had with the Lord. So the first question is, what did you appreciate about this practice? What did you like about this practice? The next question is, what did you find difficult about this? Was there anything that you found a struggle? What was it like for you to spend time with God when you're not speaking to Him? So what is it like for you to spend time with God when you're not speaking to Him? And the last question, what happens inside you when you are quiet with God? What happens in your core, inside your body? What happens inside of you or inside your soul when you are quiet with God? In centering prayer, you may not necessarily feel anything in the moment, as it really is about practicing being present with the Lord. However, as you go about the busyness of your day, you might notice that quiet centering Christ kind of holds and grounds you. Now, if you'd like to linger a little bit longer, we can do that. You could go back to the Lord in prayer and just ask Him for a word or a phrase or an image or even a song, just to remind you of your experience together with Him today. Or you could share this with a friend. It's a great way of showing kindness or care to another person too. So if you found this helpful, feel free to share it with a friend. So I have a gift for you, a surprise for you. It's been such a joy to be able to put these videos together for you over the last 9 weeks. And this coming Monday, June 1st, from 8:30 at night until 9:30, I'm gonna host a Zoom call for anyone who would like to join. And we're gonna do our 10th spiritual practice all together. So the beauty of this is that we've been doing this kind of on our own. So it's been a very private thing between you and the Lord. But doing it in community is really beautiful as well. You don't need to worry. You don't have to talk. I'm not going to put you on the spot or anything like this. However, if you do want to grab a few friends to do it with, there's a real benefit to that. And the beauty of that is that once you've done it together, you have a group of friends you could process it with. And that's really helpful. That's just another layer to practicing these spiritual practices, is when we can bring in friends and community where we have that shared experience together. So sign up, send me your email, and I'm happy to send you the link. It's a Zoom call on this Monday night, on June 1st from 8:30 till 9:30. That way, if you have kiddos, you can get those kiddos tucked into bed. All right? So again, if you'd like to connect, you can find me on Facebook at cabral.leanne, which is my author page. You can find my personal page at Leanne Hamer Cabral, or you can find me on Instagram at leanne.cabral. But send me an email if you'd like to sign up for that Zoom class together this Monday. Blessings to you and yours. Have a great day today.